Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant based diet going for yourself today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity. Send me some love telepathically. Set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So I'm going to speak a little bit on DNA today, and I'm going to talk about how to activate or open up your DNA once again. I spoke a little bit on this a few videos ago, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on how to open up your DNA or how to activate it, or how to come to realize your DNA, and pretty much cleanse it of any type of distortion as well. Okay, so let's get into it. DNA is pretty much a type of biological networking, and since it's a biological networking or an internetworking, it is an internet in itself, a biological internet, and we are able to access this biological internet, and we are able to travel it just as though we travel the internet on our devices, because our bodies are in themselves devices. Before we used cell phones or devices, in order to access the internet work, we would just use our body. We would entrance ourselves, and we would all be able to access this internet work, and this is what the DNA is. The DNA is pretty much a biological internet or network, and what they're doing nowadays is, and they've done this all throughout history, all throughout ancient civilizations, they've done this, and it's just so that history is repeating itself, okay, because it's cyclical in its nature, and the DNA, it's being heavily distorted, okay. So this biological internetwork, or this network, it's being distorted, okay, and if they're distorting our DNA and they're distorting our genetic, all right, through types of programmings and conditionings and all this type of modification to the genetic level, okay, it has a direct result on our DNA. Now, I was speaking a little bit on chimeras the other day, and if you don't know what a chimera is pretty much a creature who has been created through some type of genetic modification, to be built of multiple different creatures. So a common example of a chimera would be a lion head, a goat body, and a serpent for a tail, or a snake for a tail, with like talons, like eagle talons for feet, and this is a common example of a chimera, and it can get more meshed as well. So this is what they do to the masses. They turn the masses into chimera as well, and they do it through genetic modification. And this is why the foods, they have all of this genetic information within them, because they want as many of the mass to buy it as possible, in reliance or independence, after having programmed them into that type of dependency or complex of mind. And then once they're dependent and reliant upon the foods that they're providing to us via the grocery stores, people will have no second thought in eating that, you know. But then as you're eating it, it's just genetically modified. They've literally altered the genetic level with information that is going to be transmitted into your body, and it's gonna distort your DNA. Okay, and the more your DNA gets distorted, the more you lose yourself, the more you lose clarity of who you actually are. And this is a god, or this is divinity. Okay, this is who you actually are in your purest nature. And they want to put people out of that nature because they don't want us living in harmony with nature. They want us living disharmonious with nature because it's all about control. You know, we are being controlled because this is a plantation. All right, we're living in a plantation. This is what the Matrix is, and it's a machine. It's a plantation, and the mass is being farmed, just like cattle is, and who they are being farmed by. It's the archons. Okay, this is what the Gnostics see them as. They can also be the one percenters, maybe, or whoever's above the one percenters, the elites, or it can even get involved with the shadow government, right? And most people are talking about this nowadays already, so it's not like something new, and it's been talked of for probably centuries already, or millennia, because it's just repeating itself. These archons, which aren't human, they may be a lot of them are like draconian, or maybe even Ophiuches, you know, or reptilian in their nature, but they also hold a lot of other DNA as well, so they're not just purely reptilian. They can be like chimera in themselves, you know. But they are the ones who farm humanity, because just as though humanity farms the different animals and you know, puts them through the slaughter, this is only fractal in its nature. So since humanity is doing this to the animals, we can realize it through fractal pattern that it's just happening to us as well, and it's a higher intelligent species doing this to humanity, you know. So we're not exempt from this. We are also within the slaughter, and we are also a type of cattle. Okay, and we are literally on the farm right now. The matrix, the machine, the plantation. How does this fit all in with DNA? Because DNA, once again, is the biological network, right? And whenever you're dreaming, or whenever you're astral projecting or traveling the ether, you are also traveling the biological internet work, or the network, the internet, the biological internet, which is also the DNA. So whenever you're having all these bizarre dreams, what you're actually doing is traveling your DNA, okay? And they want to distort that as much as possible, because if you were to have it in a very, very, very pure state, a very whole state, it would it would be bad for the controllers, our controllers, because in honesty and in all actuality, in our true nature, we are higher dimensional beings, okay? And they don't want us to know this, because it would cause trouble for their system of control, and they want to keep a controlling hand over the majority of the globe as much as they can. You know, it's their dominion. Okay, now because of the distortion of DNA, because they're programming this distortion into us and altering our genetic level, it's bringing us out of our true nature, okay, which is divinity. And because they're also creating this distortion, it's leading to false identification as well. So we're forgetting who we are. And this is why we have amnesia in collective, because we've been in this war. We've been in this whole mess, and we don't see ourselves as gods anymore. Only a majority is already coming to see this once again, but that is the truth, and this is why we have amnesia. Okay, we forgot our history, or we forgot the past. We forgot who we were. We forgot a lot of things because of the distortion of DNA. All right, they've like disconnected us from the biological network, or they've created a false network. False identity is coming along with the false network, or the limited accessibility to the biological network, and um, once we are able to start cleansing our DNA and opening it up once again, we're going to be able to access more of our biological network, because we never needed these devices to access the internet. In fact, the internet is literally just like a speck of dust to the biological network. Biological network spans all throughout the universe, so through the biological network, you're able to access the entirety of the universe, or the entire multiverse. But they don't want you to be doing that, because if you were to know that you're doing that, it would cause trouble for their plantation or their farm. It's just like they don't want us to be understanding that stuff, because it would put them in a tough spot. But that's the truth of it. That's our true nature. So this is also why they call 99% of our DNA junk DNA, and they put it to the side, and they don't let the masses access that, because if we were, then we would start to understand that, okay, we are literally gods, and every night we're able to access the universe, or travel the universe, and bring in wisdom and knowledges from other star systems back to the third dimension, the Earth realm. So if we're able to do that in clarity, it would cause paradigm shifts here on the Earth that would once again be a trouble to the creatures, or the archons who are controlling us. Like Nikola Tesla, he was bringing great movement to the Earth because he was in connection with fourth dimensional entities, aliens, and they only let this carry itself on for so long before they put him out, or before they assassinated him. So if there was 99% of us being able to do the same thing while opening up the DNA, through opening up the DNA, we'd be literally taking over the globe as the 99%, because each and every one of us being able to travel the entirety of the universe consciously, and then bringing back knowledges and wisdom, would then be able to bring paradigm shift individually, and then collectively we would literally take back the power from the one percenters, and it's just that simple. So this is why they distort the DNA, because they don't want us to be accessing the entirety of the universe, because if we were to be doing this consciously, we would be shifting the globe very, very dramatically, just as Nikola Tesla was doing, but we would be able to do this as well, and in collective, you know. So they've definitely disconnected us from source through the distortion of DNA, and how to clean the DNA is coming back into a harmonious state, a harmonious lifestyle, a holistic lifestyle. Holistic is holy living, harmony. As you start to revert back into a more harmonious state of living, a harmonious consciousness, you come to open up the DNA once again. You come into self-realization, and this is true self-education, or this is true education, because all education comes from within you. Okay, And once you are able to do that, you can then start traveling the universe again, because you've opened up the DNA, or you've cleansed it. You've clarified your identity, which is the universe, because you are the universe, and this is divinity. But we've misidentified ourselves because of the distortion of DNA or genetics. So we think we're this body, or we think we're maybe some thought process, but we're so much more than that. We're literally the entire universe, and we're able to access the entire universe through our DNA. But there's a war on it once again, because they want to keep that control. So cleanse the DNA. You got to get back into a harmonious lifestyle. Eat healthier foods, or fast more. Meditate. Meditation is a great way to start opening up, realizing what the DNA is in itself. Okay, and coming to travel the universe through meditation. Any type of spiritual practitioner that you find very helpful to you as an individual is going to allow you to come back into a holier state of being. And once you start coming into a holier state of being, you're going to start opening up the DNA, and you're going to start traveling it more often, because the DNA, once again, is just a biological network, or it's literally biological internet. So and it's very much more expansive than the internet that we're using right now to communicate. This internet is literally just like very, very minute. It's very, very small networking compared to what we're able to actually access with our body as a device, rather than the cell phone as a device, or the mind as a device. Because the mind can it's like a hub or a bridge for all dimension, or all conception. Okay, and if you're able to open up your mind, open up your third eye chakra, you're going to be able to then start traveling the universe once again, with or through your DNA. Okay, so that's going to be it for today's video. Once again, I hope you all did enjoy. Research, okay, or ask yourself a little bit more how to cleanse the DNA, because intuitively you already have these answers, because we've been through this cyclically for millennia, and it's just happening over and over and over again. So you already have the answers on how to cleanse your DNA, and how to open it up once again. And once you start doing so, great things are going to start happening for you. But it involves a lot of darkness as well. But the darkness is very much needed, because the universe is not just light. There's more darkness when you look up in the sky at night than there is light. There's much more darkness than there is stars that are supposedly lighting up everything. But that's going to be it for today's video. Once again, I hope you all did enjoy. Peace out. Generate some static electricity from the etheric body, or the first layer of the aura. One love, and have a great morning.